I shared it. Well, people did like it, and that's how I got 3 opportunities.
Oh, based on the new Power resume format, is it?
Based on the new power. On that, I was able to crack Infosys, I was able to crack Mindtree, and I was able to crack Capgemini.
Okay.
So 3 of the major companies I was able to crack,
Right.
which was good enough in that particular scenario. And this was done hardly in about, I can say 25 days.
Wow.
After resigning. So here the offer that I'm getting is about close to 17.5.
Okay.
Nearly about 40% of rise, we can say. So
That's
it's more than
a healthy jump. I'm glad that, for this level of effort, this is the kind of return that you've been able to generate.
Yeah. And it just happened when I will always give the credit to that Power resume.
Brijesh, I've seen your note and just wanted to get connected here and understand what the new scope is, what the new chapter is all about, and how are you feeling about it?
Well, I'm pretty relaxed first because previous role was really very hectic.
Uh-huh.
I had a major, a kind of a tiff, you can say, which was really because too much of work being done and no recognition, nothing coming up. So that was the reason why I had to. I sustained for 2 years, and then it was like it got into my nerve, to be precise.
Right. And what was the company you were working with earlier, and what was your package and responsibilities?
Well, I was working for the company name was a little long. It's called Semiconductor Fabless Accelerator Lab. It's basically a government initiated incubator, which we were helping the startups in India who wanted to be in the fabless ecosystem, where we are developing chips, because India does not have a fab, right? So we were doing the design and all those helping for the community, which is the EDA access and various kind of tools and all that for that for the enhancement and development of chips in various domains. And with that help, we were providing them funding, we were providing them a lot of access to the government policies, to the connect with fund houses and so on. So many things that we were doing for them. But we had a very big team of 3 members.
I think you say that sarcastically.
Yeah, the reason we say that, because, I had been asking for the team to be grown to at least 6 or 8 of us. Okay? Because as an individual, I can work with my CEO, but then under me, I need few people to work. I can't single-handedly go across everywhere, and there is no holo technology which we can use, right, to be everywhere at the same time.
Right.
So all that, considering that the pressure was building up, too many things happening, plus the kind of way the previous CEO would respond was not so good. He would always demean you, and so that was not the way which we look for. And at a certain age, we really don't.
Right.
So I thought, okay, let me take a stance. And then one fine day, it got over, so I just resigned. During that particular time, I can tell you, just 2 months before that, I had my an episode of my seizure, because I'm a great table patient. So I have had that, and it's a typical thing when you are in such a pressure environment. The major problem was I already knew that it was that I had forgotten taking one of the pills. Okay. So morning, if I forget, evening I'll have possibly an effect. Okay. So that was the kind of thing I knew that, but then because of that, my doctor clearly said that you have to come out of this. So I had for 5-6 days, and during that time I had called up Manish also to clearly tell him that I will not be able to join the course, because I didn't want to take the whole pressure of doing the homework and work and everything across in that. So I had, I think, completed till the time of when we started this, what do you call that 1 month which we start with, right?
Right.
So up till that time I had done that. In fact, 3 weeks before that, I had become vegan by then. Okay. So I had already started my preparations for that month because I wanted to be vegan, so I had given up tea, all those things.
Right. So you had done the majority of it. You had gone through the second month and everything.
Yes. I had taken up that course, but then I would like to redo it just for the sake. I enjoy doing those activities, like going through the Ikigai and trying to figure out.
Correct.
Now, the point which I wanted to bring over here was because I had done that course. So by that time, I had made my single-page CV. I deliberately did not share it to you because I was thinking that I was not ready for it to be shared.
Right.
So I had not taken, but when it came to finding the job, I thought, let me try it at least in my circles. Okay. So I shared it. Well, people did like it, and that's how I got 3 opportunities.
Oh, based on the new Power resume format, is it?
Based on the new Power. On that, I was able to crack Infosys, I was able to crack Mindtree, and I was able to crack Capgemini.
Okay.
So 3 of the major companies I was able to crack.
Right.
Which was good enough in that particular scenario. And this was done hardly in about, I can say 25 days.
Wow.
After resigning. Because after, putting down my resignation, I started working on my resume to make it a single page one.
Right. And Brijesh, what was your designation earlier?
I was a program manager.
Okay.
So I was handling the entire program for that incubator.
Right.
And, well,
because I know that area is so hot. I think Vedanta just announced a collaboration with Foxconn to start manufacturing chips in India.
Right. Yes.
And the government has also come out with an initiative of spending almost 1 lakh crores over the next 10 years.
Yeah, well, they have already given about $75,000 lakh rupees. Okay?
Oh.
So that's the kind of money that they have come out so far.
Right.
It's all about $1 billion that they are trying to invest, which is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology.
Right.
The EST, the Information, the Space Department, all of them are going to invest in this particular field. Okay.
Right.
Because India needs growth in all directions.
Right.
It's the major scope.
I think with the way technology has progressed and the Internet of Things and everything, I mean, semiconductors are going to go into everything.
Yes, they have already been there. If you look at now, I can tell you a rice cooker today is much more smarter than your standard pressure cooker and all the other devices.
Correct.
Even your simple water heaters are now coming up with a lot of intelligence in that.
Right. So, Brijesh, what was your package there with the lab?
Well, I was working for a package of 12 lakhs.
Okay.
Pretty low, okay, because my experience is about 21 years. Okay. But there were the mistakes of common, IT professional that, I stayed too long in too many companies.
Right.
Like example, I was with HP for 6 years, 6.5 years I was with HP. Then about 6 years, 1 month I was with Logica. So these 12 years of stretch, stayed in 2 companies where we did not earn much because not much of a rise was given, hardly 5%, 8% given. So you don't grow on the package much.
Right.
Right. And then citing obviously my, 2017 when I went through this whole, medical episode. Then whatever came my way, I just went through that because I didn't want to bother and I didn't want to have the pressure of, because job was really not on the cards, to be precise.
Correct. No, I can understand that.
But whatever God, I just worked through that. Then again, in this incubator being the government funded one, not much of a rise, no security, no PF, nothing was being there.
Right.
Because 3 company, as I said, 3 employee company, you can't even give PF.
Correct.
15 is minimum requirement for them, right?
Right.
So all these kind of issues were there. Well, I sustained for about 4.5 years in this whole organization because prior to SAFAL, the semiconductor, we call it SAFAL.
Right.
Prior to that, I was working for an association called India Electronics and Semiconductor Association.
Right.
Networking exposure was really good because today, if I can tell you, you were talking about Foxconn. Wistron CEO, I know him personally. Okay. You talk about any big company, I know the CEO by name. I know them. If I give them a call, they'll be able to do the tasks. know me. Okay, you're calling me from that department. So he knows that. So that kind of a network was really built well. You know, I can't ask a CEO to search a job.
Right.
That's just the ethics which I would follow. You know?
Well, I suppose the network does allow you, once they know that you are available, then I suppose they will start thinking themselves, because you've been central to the development of that industry body, and they know the value that you bring to the table.
Very true. Yeah.
Right. So the 3 offers you cracked, you said, were HCL and Capgemini, is it?
One was Infosys, one was Mindtree, and the third is Capgemini.
Mindtree. Okay, so Infosys, Mindtree, and Capgemini. And the one you've chosen to go ahead with, I believe, is Capgemini.
Capgemini. So basically, Capgemini now has an engineering division where in 2020 they acquired 2 companies, Altron and Arisen Technologies. So the kind of domain that I've moved into is more of engagement management, which is almost of a program management role. But being a big company, the program management is not like what I was doing. Any and everything else. It's not that. It's pretty much focused on financing, invoices, products, timelines, kind of meet SLAs and all those things. But pre-project start. So I'm not doing the technical aspects. I'm just managing the overall, concepts and initiation of the projects. So once that is initiated, once it's going on, weekly meetings about their projects, and that's what I would be doing.
Got it. And is this going to be a hybrid environment where some days are in the office and some at home?
Well, yes, it is a hybrid environment. And just to tell you, I am, after 8 years, I am in Bhopal. So what you're seeing back, the painting, this is done by my sister. Okay. She has hand painted it, and I visited my home after 8 years.
Oh, wow!
So,
that's about that.
So that's a pretty long, I remember, because when I had been down because of the medical thing, my mother, my sister, they were with me. My wife obviously was there, and everybody helped me come out of it. But, coming to Bhopal was such a wonderful thing after such a long time, because seeing the city grow, seeing yourself grow, making it to Bhopal again, all these are now kind of milestones in my life.
Sure. Yes. And I can feel that you must be at much more ease being back in your hometown.
Oh yes, pretty much. It's just like, it makes you feel so good. Simple as that.
Correct. And so what were the 3 offers like? And why did you choose the one you chose?
The reason, 2 offers which I was getting, which was Infosys, and Mindtree, they were only service oriented. Okay.
Right.
Plus, they were all on the software side.
Okay.
Because I had previously done service industry, for software and for typically what you call service management with ITIL and all that. So I had done that. So because of that, I got those 2 offers. Well, they were interesting enough. In fact, Infosys was supposed to pay me a little more than what Capgemini was going to pay me. So I was inclined to go to Infosys. But my constraint went that if I am going, let me use my own hardware, field. Why not be on the hardware side than be on the software side?
Right.
Because
definitely it's a little more unique right now to be on the hardware side than, software is a little more run of the mill.
Right. The other thing which which always interested me was what way back in, I think, 2012, Professor Michiko Kaku, right? He is the Japanese professor. Typically the Japanese professor who's turned into an American now. So he long back said that hardware will be the new software of the future.
Right.
So, because nowadays, if you look at how hardware is getting amalgamated with so many things, like Alexa, though it's a speaker, but so many things that Alexa is able to do.
Correct.
It's controlling the internet, everything across.
Right.
So it's kind of merging together. So these things are going to happen, and I have seen those things happening. Okay.
Right.
So I said, let me be on the hardware side. So the kind of division which I've joined is more of FPGA boards, where they are helping companies with designing of their chips, designing of the drivers for those chips, and all those things. So software is involved.
I see that in my lighting business every day, with lighting controls getting automated to that degree. It's everything is built into smart appliances now. So
Kapoor Lamps is so much into that. I know that.
Right.
So taught me how to follow companies. So I've done research on you guys also.
Great. So what were the numbers associated with the offer that you chose? Capgemini, right?
Right. Yeah. So here the offer that I'm getting is about close to 17.5.
Okay.
Nearly about 40% of rise, we can say. Yeah. So
That's
it's more
a healthy jump. I'm glad that for this level of effort, this is the kind of return that you've been able to generate.
Yeah. And it's just happened. I will always give the credit to that power resume. The reason, because 3 of my friends after me, just me telling them that I have made such a change. Few of my friends saw the CV and they wanted, help me design that. I want it this way. I said, I will not do it. The reason being very simple, that it has been taught to me with an expert manner. I can't tell you everything, and I will not take the liberty in that. Okay. So they did on their own, whatever. If they have replicated it, it's their part. But I did not, indulge into that, clearly. The other thing was, this resume was very attractive to everyone who's come. How can you have 20 years of experience in one? I said, I have done it. You think it in your own way. And most people are not able to do it, okay, because they don't think into the perspective of how the alignment has to go, how the font has to go, all those things they don't think of. Right? That's okay.
It's not just the cosmetics, it's also the structure of each section.
Right.
One thing it really does very well is it allows for the pattern of your strengths to emerge.
Right. Yes.
And the second thing is that, when you're able to summarize using that, especially what you put into your professional experience, then it is wow after wow.
True. That's what happened. Yeah. I'll show my resume to you. You may please correct it. Now I can do that, because now since we've had a one-to-one call, so I can still, feel that, okay, if I'm doing it, it's pretty okay. Because if I would have done that previously, probably you would have rejected it. Okay. So now I have a validation also. Like I've got because of that, right? So that kind of a thing happens. Okay. Now the package, as you said, the numbers that you were trying to ask for. So I was getting about 18 from Infosys. I was getting, Mindtree was offering me about 16.25 something they were offering, and Capgemini offered me 17.5. So I said that 50,000 extra for a software doesn't really matter to me. Because if I would have gone there, Infosys would have been a good thing. But then I would have struggled a little to understand the whole software terminologies after 5 years of my experience with IESA and all that hardware and product thing that we were doing.
Right.
So understanding hardware is much easier for me now. So that's why I said, okay, let me go in the ease factor of it. And that's why I chose Capgemini. Plus the kind of companies that I'll be interacting were the same old ones which I've already interacted. The startups, various kind of, hardware companies that are, because in India, you don't see a lot of companies doing hardware. Typically, I'm about computer hardwares and, technology hardwares.
Correct.
So that was the scope.
Excellent. So what I would suggest to you now is that, see, whenever you join a new role, everybody will be looking at you, because they are trying to figure out what the change will be in it for them. By you coming on board, what change does it mean for them?
True.
And you are yet in this process of, developing the understanding with regard to the culture, the systems, the go-to-market strategy, the norms, the processes, the behaviors, all of that.
Right.
And I can tell you that your early success or early failure in a new role is the best predictor or the best determinant of your overall success or failure.
Very true. Yeah.
So as part of your level 2 engagement, you also have access to level 3.
Okay.
And on Teachable, that is known as the Apex 90-day challenge.
Right.
So what I want you to do now is, I want you to go to level 3 and go through that course. That will take you about 2-3 days. If you give it half an hour a day, it will take you maybe 2 to 3 days to cover.
Right. Okay.
But it is an incredibly deep course because it helps you understand how to onboard correctly.
Okay.
What are the things that you need to understand now to be able to plant deep roots in this role?
Great. That's good.
How you need to prepare for this upcoming role.
Mm-hmm.
How you need to put in place the accelerated learning plan, both about subject matter expertise and also the culture of the organization.
Right.
How you will match the strategy to the situation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And how you are going to negotiate for success with your supervisor.
That's all equally true. Yeah, I get the point what you're saying. Yeah.
And then, looking at what is the low-hanging fruit, where you can create the early wins, how to achieve that alignment, not just above you and below you, but even horizontally. The relationships you need to start putting in place, creating those alliances across the organization.
I get the point. Yeah.
Right. So you will go through that entire course, and that will really allow you to onboard in such a solid way that, within a period of 4 to 6 months, you would have planted the right foundation there. Because see, initially you will be learning from the company, you will be consuming value from the company.
Yes, very true. I need to learn the language of the company, what they kind of, the kind of abbreviation, kind of, discussions that happen. So sometimes, as of now, I'm telling you the truth. Many times I'm not able to figure out what exactly is the term they've used and what are they use that for. So OSG, when it came out, I thought it is some sort of a hardware stuff that they're talking about, but then I realized that this is onshore delivery.
So ये सारे gaps भरेंगे, but the thing is that only if you consume the right value will you be able to produce the right value.
Very true.
And when the amount of value you have produced is equal to the amount of value you have consumed, you reach that break-even point.
Very true.
That is a very critical point because from there on, their trust on you is complete.
Right.
So, the idea is that this course will help you understand how to navigate that journey so that you can very quickly become one of them, because it is when you become one of them that your ability to bring change and bring excellence, that platform only opens up once trust is fully established.
Right. I get the point.
Right. So what I want you to do is watch this one first, and then in 6, 8, 10 months from now, you can come back to level 2, where you will use level 2 again, the SPT model again, to then look at a 2x, 3x from here.
Understood. That's what that will be the best point, because I want to spend about a year in this role. That's my minimum target as of today.
Right.
Because I'll just be true. I've already lost a lot, which is about time, which is about money, everything. If you look at
right,
all the reasons doesn't really matter as of today, right? But whatever we lost, we need to gain that. That's pretty important.
I think you're looking at it the right way, because this is a very healthy attitude. You cannot bring time back.
Yeah.
So raat gayi, baat gayi, us pe mitti dalo. The only thing you can do is take better decisions now.
Very true. That's what I said.
So I think you're looking at it perfectly. And a year is a very realistic time frame to give yourself to be able to create some meaningful impact.
Very true. Yeah, because in a month, in a week, you cannot really do anything. Okay.
Correct.
And particularly when the environment is so dynamic, which is we are dealing with the global clients, we are dealing with the Indian clients, and so many things up and down happening. And
you're dealing with a very unpredictable world. So
I think the unpredictability so well. Okay.
Right.
We all have been through it, and everybody has gone through it. In fact, I remember 1 or 2 times you were seriously affected, though you were not, positive. But I remember in one of the calls, you were not able to speak well, right?
Right. I remember when, my own family went through COVID a couple of times. Right. My parents were going through a lot of difficulty. My father had problems with his heart health and all of that. So naturally, we're all human beings. We all go through this. But the whole idea is, can you manage your mindset during that time? And I think people who have an understanding of that, they come with a very different level of personal maturity, because see, anybody can be happy when things are okay. When everything is working, it's not difficult to be happy. It's only tested when things are not going well. So, excellent. So I think you're on your way. That's wonderful. It's been great to connect with you, Brijesh. And if there's anything else I can help with, just send me an email and I'll be very happy to get back to you. I'm looking forward that in a year's time or so, we can have another conversation where you can update me with the good news that the next package that you've been able to crack is, maybe somewhere between the 40-50 lakh mark.
Well, I would love to crack that, and that's why I, reconnected with your team and you specifically for the same reason that, since I'm starting, so it's okay that, this first year, it really doesn't matter, but I need to crack that as quick as possible, in the sense that when the right time is there, because as I said just now, I lost a lot, so I need to gain a lot,
right?
So that the situation is leveled up. That's what
I'll tell you, not everybody walks the journey fully. People will come into level 1 and then they'll say, oh, there's another cost. Okay, that's it for me. And then they'll give up on themselves. Then some people like you come into level 2. Right. And then they realize these gains. And then they say, okay, you know what? This has been an investment that I have made because it has allowed me, within a short period of time, 45 days, 60 days, I've recouped my investment and then a 3x. Right. So, whoever keeps walking the journey is the one who will keep accelerating their returns.
Very
and
true.
It becomes very difficult for people to be able to see that. Especially I find, in India, not everybody believes in themselves to that degree. And I must congratulate you there because, despite the limitations and the unforeseen situations that you faced in your life, it's very clear from this conversation that you're committed to yourself.
Well, that has to be the best part because, see, I can tell you one thing, because I have lived something really very harsh. Okay, but what I have learned is very clear that in this world, we do have responsibilities, we do have connects, we do have abilities for us to be connected and to understand few things. Like I have a daughter, I have my wife, I have mother, sister, everyone is there. Right. But these are only responsibilities to a certain level and to a certain length of time. Beyond that, it is only me who's going to help me become me.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, your first responsibility is to yourself. Yes. And to be able to realize your full potential, because then you become that enlivening force that can play the roles that are expected of you in a much superior way. So,
but since our childhood, we've always been taught one thing, though Christianity has taught that, but it really doesn't matter to me. But they're clear themselves.
Right.
Now, if we don't help ourselves, how will I go ahead and give help to others?
Correct.
I have to be full. Right. So I have to sustain at all reasons. Right. Now, it's not about being rich. It's all about being sustainable.
Right.
And being lively enough to any change. And just since we are talking, so I'm just telling you, I have a very simple and a very straightforward quote, which I have taken up from a t-shirt which I used to wear long back. And that quote is called very simple: nothing changes if nothing changes.
Right.
It's that simple.
Correct.
Because we have to make the change and we have to make it. Yeah. In order to make a change in our life, we have to make a lot of changes. And if it doesn't happen, then we will just live the same as we were.
Exactly.
So that's how it is.
Excellent. Well, I can see that you're taking everything in your stride and you're learning from, all of the difficulties and the setbacks that came your way. So I want to congratulate you once again for all of that. Wonderful speaking with you. And I wish you and your family all the very best.
Sorry, I didn't catch that last.
I know this is just the beginning. Abhi to sirf shuruaat hai. So, I know all of this will compound and I look forward to that next conversation. Brijesh, you take care. And if there's anything else for me, just drop me a message and it will be a pleasure to get back to you.
Sure. I will always be. And I'm so thankful that, we've had a conversation. Okay. Because if you remember, sometimes during the call, I would say that, can you talk to me? I had even sent one email that, ask someone to talk to me. The purpose was that, because we are on the same age, okay, both of us, we are of the same era where we come from, because
True.
the connection between a pencil and a cassette.
Right. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. We are coming from the same time zone, and the perspective that we share a lot of things together, like your perspectives that I have heard of, how you have been through in US, what all changes, how you designed your Ikigai, how I do it, and they're pretty much common things which I could relate, and that's why I wanted to have a conversation, and good that we are having it today. So great, would love to see it one more time, next time again, whenever needed. And please do call me, and please do, your help is obviously inevitable, and it will always be supportive, for sure.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure for me to have this conversation and to be there for you. So whenever you need it, just send me a message and I'll be happy to respond.
Sure. Okay.
Great. Brijesh, you take care and all the very best to you.
Thank you so much. And just last note, I want to, just iterate one own self-portrait, because I write poetry as well. Okay. So एक खुद ही के ऊपर लिखा हुआ एक शेर है मेरा.
हाँ जी.
मैं दुनिया से डरता नहीं. मैं दुनिया से डरता नहीं हूँ, न किसी दर्द से घबराता हूँ. मैं शायर हूँ, शेरों के साथ जीना मेरी आदत है.
Very well said. Very well said. Lovely. Excellent. Excellent. नहीं, ये हिम्मत तो होनी चाहिए ना. ये हिम्मत तो होनी चाहिए, because जो भी लाइफ में आता है वो आपसे परमिशन लेके तो आता नहीं.
बिल्कुल.
Right. So lovely. Very well expressed. All the very best, Brijesh. Take care.
Thanks. Yep.
All right.
See you.
All right.